They took Cody. They took Cody.
Oh no, here we go. Here we are. Our home for the next 2 hours.
There's some free donuts over there from the group just before you, and some for the adults with the 16.
I think that what we're going to do is go around and everybody say your name, how you're affiliated to New York Youth Against Fracking, and if you have any questions or comments, and one very simple thing that you're excited about for the future.
Hi, I'm Mariah. First we were calling it LACS Frack Action, and that just wasn't big enough and wasn't what the kids wanted, and so they quickly changed the name. But we started that just last fall, and lots have happened since, and I'm excited about that, about the future potential of youth, and youth connecting around the state is, I think, would be an amazing thing.
I'm Connor. I was in the first group that started out. I helped with the music video. That is partially why we're here. But I'm really excited to be doing more rallies and stuff like this in the future. So yeah.
I'm Lila, and I was also originally in the first group last year, and I went to all the rallies and stuff and did the music video. And I am really excited to see a movie happening on this thing. I want it to be banned. I'm excited to see that happen.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm Emma, and I was involved in this last year in the beginning. I think all year last year I was in the project, and then I was in the project for part of this year also. And I guess I'm just excited. Well, right now I'm pretty excited to meet Yoko.
Hi, I'm Mira. I was part of the group last year and part of this year, and I guess I still am, but I'm really excited to meet Yoko Ono for lunch today. So.
I'm Noah. I was in the group from the beginning last year, and this year I haven't been, but I still get all the emails, so.
In spirit.
I'm in spirit. And I'm excited for this to move forward with the Renewables movement.
I'm Anna. I was in the previous, last year, I was in New York Youth Against Fracking, and I was in the video, and I went to all the rallies, and it was really empowering, and I think that's what I'm excited for the future, just that empowerment of feeling like you're really making a difference with the fracking movement. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and one thing I'm excited about in this moment is a conversation I was hearing or was part of some strategizing about really organizing a youth putting pressure on Governor Cuomo to meet up with them and answer for what he's going to do with the future of New York State.
Hi, I'm Ray. I became affiliated with New York Youth Against Fracking by going to the January of 2013 State of the State address in Albany, and because I rode there on the same bus and as all the, and I go to New Roots Charter School, which is also in Ithaca, and we're a lot like LACS. We have a lot in common. And I'm also, excited about doing more rallies.
My name is Danson, and I haven't been a part of the group very long, but I'm very excited to see where the group goes.
Hi, my name is Edith. My daughter was in this group last year, and she's also been in it this year. And last year, I have been so sort of terrified of the concept of fracking and the possibility that it would come to New York State that I kind of didn't want to know what the group was doing or what they were talking about because I assumed that it was sort of futile. And then when the group hosted an event that was organized by, well, the kids, but also John McNamara, who is here and he'll speak too, I was very inspired by the fact that all these kids, a lot of them were only 11 years old, and they had gotten people like Sandra Steingraber to come and speak at their event, and they showed the movie Dear Governor Cuomo. And at the workshops afterwards, people like John Armstrong of New Yorkers Against Fracking talked about how youth are really very, very powerful, and because the earth is really, they're going to inherit it, and it really belongs to them. And to harm the earth is harming the next generation. And I got really excited about that. And within a couple weeks, I wrote a song called "You've Been Fracked." And I'd written maybe one or two songs that I didn't sing for anybody because I didn't think they were that good. But this one I thought was good, and I sang it for Mariah. But I said, I wrote this song about fracking, but I don't really know what I can do with it. And Mariah had just read about this video contest, and I sang the song for the group, and the kids immediately decided they wanted to make a music video, and so that, I mean, the whole thing was actually very exciting. So that's one thing that I'm excited about, and I'm also excited that this movement is being powered by youth, because youth really have a lot of power, just with politicians, with everybody, because you are the next generation and you're going to be inheriting the earth, and you really have a strong voice that's going to make a big impact.
I'm Elijah. I was in the video. I go to Dryden, but I was homeschooled at the time of the video You've Been Fracked. And so that's why I'm here. I also participated in the Ballad of Dryden, and I'm excited to ban fracking because that's really what's one of the most important issues in this nation right now, in my opinion. And so that's why I'm here.
Hi, I'm Tivin. I was interested in joining the group, but I didn't have the time open. One time I was in the library when I overheard Edith and Mariah talking about the song that Edith had wrote, and I expressed interest because I was playing the flute a lot at the time and singing. So that was when I joined. I'm excited to see fracking banned.
My name's Luke. I filmed and edited the You've Been Fracked video and was really honored to be asked to participate in that. I filmed most of it, other than the rally footage, which Amy shot over here. Yeah. Thanks. And I'm excited to see more renewable energies developed and to create viable alternatives to the not sustainable ones that they're trying to push.
Hi, I'm Richie Stearns. My son Cole went to school with y'all last year, and he got me and Iris to come play in the video for Edith's song. I played bass, and it was so bad that they kind of mixed me out on the final take, but I look really good when I'm doing it. And mostly I'm a banjo player. I participated in making the Dear Governor Cuomo film, and I'm a graduate from the alternate school from the first year back in '74 when we were fighting nuclear power the same way. We had youth groups doing the same thing, trying to keep nukes from coming to New York and to our country, and to ban the nuclear dump they were going to put out west of us. We fought against that. And I'm very excited that all of you all are so excited about trying to ban fracking, because you're the ones that are going to have to lead the charge on this over the years to come. This is your world, and we're going to be counting on you to stop this. And I'm excited about getting a windmill and some solar stuff on top of my caboose out in Perry City, so you guys can help me do that maybe in the next couple of years to generate power for Perry City so that we don't have to be on the grid anymore. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Iris, and I'm excited to stop fracking and stop all the water from being oiled and stop all these people from being ill.
Hi, I'm Toby, and I got involved here because of my daughter, Indigo. And I'm just excited to see so many kids and so much youth involved and passionate about this.
Hi, I'm Indigo, and I was in the project this year. I'm not anymore, but yeah, so I was excited to come on this trip, and I'm really excited to meet Yoko.
Hi, I'm Kai. I go to LACS. I was in the group last year. I haven't been this year. I was in the music video, but I'm excited to help be part of stopping this all around the country, and maybe we could reach out to other groups and just get it away.
I'm Amy. I'm a parent of 3 girls who are hiding at the moment. But I really wish they were in here because I want them to see what it looks like to be a democratic citizen. And I want them to see that they do have a voice and that they can be empowered to make changes in this world. And we live in the Finger Lakes, which is one of the most beautiful freshwater areas in the country. And I don't think they have the perspective that some of us older folks might have now, that those lakes are really amazing and precious and spectacular and worth protecting. So I'm glad to be here and be part of that with you all.
Hi, I'm Franny. I was in New York Youth Against Fracking this cycle. This was my first time. I did not know about fracking or what dangers it posed to the environment until I moved here and started at LICS this year. So I am excited to help stop fracking from becoming stop fracked natural gas from becoming what kind of energy we use.
Hi, my name is Polly Wood, and 2 years ago I went independently to the State of the State with my daughter Pearl, and was really happy to see a lot of familiar faces there, a lot of younger faces and kids that we knew, and saw the New York Youth Against Fracking representing. And so that was the first time we really knew about the group. And so I'm really here to support my daughter, who's now a part of the group. And also I'm just excited because you folks are going to be leading this, and I guess I feel honored that my role is to be receptive to serving the youth in whatever way that you might need my help to actually lead it forward, because I don't really know what to do, but I feel like you guys probably have great ideas, and so if there's anything I can do as a parent or as a grown-up to help you move it forward, let me know.
Thank you. I am Liam. I've been in this group. I actually am currently in the group. And I'm excited to watch the group grow because it seems like every cycle it gets bigger. So.
So my name is Izzy. I joined this group, I think the first time it was offered at our school as a project, and one thing I'm really looking forward to is I guess, sort of just helping, like, getting a bigger community in our group and making it so that there's more people who are really fighting for this cause.
All right, I'm Emma, kind of the same as her. I joined it because I watched that movie that Josh Fox made. It's a very sad movie, and I decided to do something, and it went okay, because now we're here.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm Liam's mom. And I'm really excited that Mariah and Edith and Richie and Gabe and Cody are just setting this great foundation for the young ones to use their power. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm part of the group, I guess, in a couple ways. Well, that my daughter was brought in, and it was so wonderful that she had that opportunity to get the strength of voice, like with all of you, that you have the place where you can gain that strength and stand up for what's really important in your own space and in the beautiful land we live, protecting our water and all. I'm also a Green Star employee, and I'm really thankful that they have been so supportive of you all to get to, out there to really spread the word, and to maybe to other communities and to other youth. And this is such an important issue that to protect our space. It's important to get the word out.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm in 7th grade at LACS, and I've been in New York Youth Against Fracking since it started when I was in 6th grade. And I've gone to all of the rallies, and I feel really empowered when I go to them. And I'm really excited to see fracking banned, and I really enjoyed working with everyone.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm a recent ACS grad, and I've been helping out with the group for a couple months. And before that, I was traveling around in Pennsylvania for a little bit, where fracking isn't banned, and just kind of talking to people and finding out how things were and how their lives were affected by fracking. So I definitely came back to Ithaca feeling like I had to do something, and I was really happy to almost immediately get into contact with this group. I think it's pretty amazing what we've got here, and I feel really lucky to be working with you all. So I'm glad that there's sort of a youth movement building, and I'm really excited to meet with Josh Fox's youth group today and see what some other young people are thinking about and talking about. And I think we're going to make some really cool connections. So, yeah, go us.
Go us. Hi, I'm Sheila. I'm an LACSer and a fractivist. Not officially part of the group, but I see a clean and happy and peaceful earth ahead of us, and I'm excited for all of us to help sustain that wonderfulness. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pearl. I did New York Youth Against Fracking when it was last cycle, when it was a project at my school. And I went to a rally with the group too, which was really fun, and I'm really glad that everybody's working together to try to stop fracking, because it's making a lot of people sick, and we really need to put an end to it. I'm really glad to be a part of this group.
Hi, I'm Mycena. I got introduced to this group from a few of my friends who are also go to LACS, so do I. They brought me into the You've Been Fact video, and then this cycle I joined the project. And I'm really excited for fracking to be banned and for this group to grow. I'm happy to see how it goes, so yeah.
Hi, I'm Riley. I was with Mycena when our friends were like, hey, do you want to make a music video? And we were like, sure. And so we went to the music video where the music video is being made, and it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot, and it really, I don't know, I guess I got like really excited about it. And when I heard that we had won the contest, I I kind of was like, wow, like just a group of people like us can just like do awesome things. And so I guess I'm excited to be a part of this. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Savannah, and I just joined New York Youth Against Fracking this cycle, and I didn't really know much about fracking until now, and so I learned a lot more and discovered that it should be definitely stopped. And I'm really excited to meet Yoko now.
Hi, I'm Judith. I was in it like 2 cycles, but not like right next to each other, and it was really fun doing the music video and stuff. And I'm excited for just when we can like. I love all you guys and everything, but like when we can sort of move on, because like fracking can get banned, and then we'll all move on to other issues, and we're definitely gonna have to be activists for fracking and for other things in the future. But just like when fracking isn't so much of a danger anymore.
And I just want to say one last thing. Everyone here is a New York Youth Against Fracking, unless you aren't a youth anymore, because you're here and you're New York Youth Against Fracking. And just saying that, you know, if you have your name on the roster at LACS, that doesn't make you any more a New York Youth Against Fracking. So you're all here, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm John McNamara, and I connected with New York Youth Against Fracking when they approached us about showing the Dear Governor Cuomo film. And I just want to say how proud of you guys I am. I'm just like, this group has accomplished more than any other group almost that I've worked with in a shorter period of time. You got really motivated and you took action and you made progress, and here you are. So congratulations. I'm really proud of your video. It's really great.
Okay, I'm Gabe, and I'm from LACS. I'm a senior, 1 cycle left till graduation. I got involved just this past cycle when Mariah asked me to step in to lead the group on Thursdays, and I've been totally blown away by these kids. I've learned, become inspired, and just had a great time working with you all. I don't feel like there's any age barrier between us, because we're all just kind of like together in this like frenzy, all in this like one unified vision of getting a ban on fracking to keep it out of New York State. And I'm excited to see windmills on the hilltops and to see solar panels enough to power everything. So I'm excited to see us get off our addiction to oil entirely. I want to move us along because I think Josh Fox will be arriving soon. So I think that what would be awesome is if we could have either a go-around or like a popcorn of when you look 5 or 10 years into the future of New York Youth Against Fracking, what do you see? What are some ways that this group can expand and can like most effectively can most effectively help the movement? I think that we are incredibly unique. I don't think that there's any other group like this, at least not in New York State and probably elsewhere. This is like a huge opportunity that we have here. We are so gifted and so privileged, and we have such power. We have so much power. The future is ours. As young people, we have a responsibility to look into the future and to kind of clean up a lot of the messes that our ancestors have given to us. And so when you look into the future, how do you see this group and its like affiliates and other organizations that are connected? How do you see us affecting the change that we want to see?
I see us possibly looking into other forms of energies and like ways to convince society to like stop obsessively consuming energy, because as good as like alternative energy looks, it's still going to have an impact on the environment, and the real solution is to not use as much energy and live more simply.
I agree with Tivin, and I think it would be good if we could do more fundraising to help us travel to teach youth and other groups around the state or really anywhere. And if we do move past the issue of fracking, then maybe we could start holding benefit concerts or something for more renewable energy for our school or other schools.
I think that we should definitely keep doing what we're basically going to be doing now when Josh Fox comes with the group is like it's New York Youth Against Fracking, so it would be nice if it's not just our group in Ithaca. Like we can branch out to and have everybody from all over New York come together, and then it would probably make a big difference and help us accomplish even more things.
I also think that looking into renewable technologies is important, and I want to raise a point here. It gets to be biggest of all really a political challenge to get renewable energies out there and working everywhere, because the fossil fuel industry, I mean, they don't want us to develop renewables because that ruins their business. So, you know, it's a political challenge. So we have to think how we're going to fight the power of the fossil fuel industry's corporate greed. So yeah, fight corporate greed.
I just want to say, touch down on like education again, because Noah said something about that. I was just thinking about how like I really think, like I know in the past when you're like fighting so hard for this anti-fracking movement, that you can sort of start to see the like pro-frackers as like bloodthirsty, like greedy people, but that's not true. It's like I really think that they're just kind of undereducated to like the defaults to what they're about to lease their land to. Because think about it, if you're in a bad financial situation and someone comes knocking on your door and they're like, we're going to pay you a ton of money to safely take this oil out of your land, you're going to be like, cool, you know? So I really think education and just continuing what we're doing is the right path to that.
I guess this is also education, but like people who think fracking is safe or it's a good idea, like we can do this, but if you make like a really big, hard demonstration, it's not really going to change their mind. In fact, studies have proven that when someone shows the opposite opinion of you, your opinion will actually get stronger and you'll get harder against it. I think a good way to do it is like produce the facts in like little pieces, but over and over again, and that's a way to help teach people.
The idea just came to me. What if LACS could, in the near future, host a symposium for other youth groups, like draw in other groups to come to? We have like all the resources of Cornell and Ithaca College. I could see something like that being organized.
I think one way to like educate people and like show what we're trying to make happen, it would maybe like another video, but like that one got so much success, just the music video. But what if like a youth made like actual like educational video where like going around showing what like we're all doing and like having us interviewed and just like facts, like kind of like Gasland, but like youth doing it and then just like making it go viral. Could be cool.
Well, going off of what Sheila just said, I think that one thing we were talking about this on the bus actually is like visibility and accountability and how much leverage it would give us to have a meeting with Governor Cuomo and to then go into the public eye as like the youth of New York State, like putting pressure on the government, because I think that in a lot of ways that has like so much more power than a lot of other tactics that are used. So like making videos, using these awesome cameramen who just want to film us, and so like making media and really like putting a young face on the anti-fracking movement, I think is super impactful and would get us a lot. It would take us really far. Ray.
Just to point, what I said earlier, I was saying that the corporations were greedy. I was not saying that everyone who gets a lease on their land is greedy, because no, that's definitely not how it is. you know, those people are often, I mean, ultimately, they're tricked into it, to thinking that it's all fine and good and it's going to give them a bunch of money. You know, the corporation, the gas company lies to people. I think that's what the whole You've Been Fracked song is about. So, yeah, just wanted to clarify that. And another thing, also at New Roots right now, I've been trying to start, and it's actually starting up, and so far we're small and we're in the early stages, but this group for science class called Project Thunderbolt, where we're researching renewable energies, and our core focus is on making use of phenomenons that are already going on in nature, which is what wind, solar, and so on. So I don't know if we got stronger, I don't know if we could join forces.
I was just thinking that a good part of, like, if there's a symposium or a meetup with other youth would be to have some workshops or training around media activism, and just throw a lot of support into making sure that everyone knows how to really get their voice out there and feels like they are connected. And another thought that I had too was to think about strengthening connections with indigenous communities in New York State, because a lot of leaders from those communities have really been at the very forefront of trying to protect the land and water. And I think youth in those communities, it would be really worth reaching out, especially to them.
And our school, well, it's not all of our school, but the school where this group started has a connection with the Akwe Sasne Freedom School, which is a Mohawk school. And so that's one connection right there that we could try to make.
To draw back on a point that Tiven said, I really liked how you stated that people aren't going to accept our opinions if we're forcing it too much. They're going to like form a harder shell against us. And if we're planning to meet with Governor Cuomo, which I think is a fabulous idea to get right to the heart of where all the power is, besides us, then we need to go into it with not just a hard formulated point of view that no, we won't see the other side of, and we need to see where other people are coming from and be willing to mold to other points of views and other needs.
I think that you really need some more publicity. I mean, because this is great. The video is great. Yoko Ono sponsoring it and everything is great. And and Ithaca is great, like, because kids are really, like, we're all involved in something that we believe in. However, I'm from Dryden, which is not necessarily the same, and many people in Dryden know about fracking, and Dryden has passed a ban on fracking. However, the youth at my school do not seem to care about fracking so much, and I think we just really need to impress the importance on other people about fracking, because even if someone took a field trip down to Pennsylvania with their school class, then they would see how awful it is down there, and I think that's a really important thing to publicize in public schools, especially when they're not in Ithaca.
I think it would be a good idea if we went to a bunch of other schools. Like, as he said, that in Dryden, the kids weren't very interested in fracking. If we went to more schools and taught them about it, told them about it, maybe they'd get more interested, and our group could get bigger and bigger. So it wouldn't just be from a little group. So, yeah.
Just piggybacking on a point made a second ago, Bradford County in Pennsylvania, which is one of the areas where there's been the most fracking in the whole country, is only an hour south of Ithaca. And there are definitely people there who would be excited to work with and get to know kids from here who are interested in the issue. So I think that there's a big opportunity there. And I also think that it should be our responsibility in this situation to make a big part of what we're doing, trying to understand other people in other places and their circumstances and how that impacts everything. So I think that that's a great point.
Going back to the education part, if we were to make an educational movie or something and then send it out to different schools.
Yeah.
I think your idea is really great, that if we go to other schools and like educate them about fracking and how it's making so many people sick and how you really need to stop it, like then they could tell other people and it could just grow bigger and bigger. Like we could make a PowerPoint or something and then just educate them about it. I think that would be a really great idea for the group.
I see where Ray is coming from about corporate greed, and I also see where Anna is coming from about like the pro-frackers and even people like in charge of industries not being totally evil, because I don't think anyone in the world is totally evil. They're still human beings, and like if you're some kind of pro-fracker politician or someone snobbish watching this on TV or something, like I know you probably like got yourself caught up in this before you like really thought about it. If you could just like think about all the people you could be hurting for like a few minutes, like maybe your mind would change or something.
Let's give a warm welcome to our new guest.
Hello. Is this on? Yes. Oh, it's recording. Oh, hi. It's great. It's great to be here. Thanks for calling me and saying we need people to meet with in New York on Saturday. And I was like, how about me? So that was great. I'm really excited to just hear whatever you're doing. Obviously, this is Lee Zishi. She's the grassroots coordinator for Gasland. If you saw any of the touring stuff that we did this summer, she set all that up. But I don't want to interrupt. I mean, I just cut in.
Grab a seat.
All right, cool. At some point, I do want to tell you something that we're up to over the summer that will be, I think, exciting for you. So, but here.
One, I wanted to agree with Cody. I mean, kind of building off his point, the people in Pennsylvania already know what this is like, and they're trying to save themselves from getting deeper in the problem. We don't have experience with it. We know what it is, but we're trying to stop it before it comes to us. And I think that's a really great thing, but we should be putting every last bit of ourselves into it. And I know we always have more. So anything cool that you think of, I think we should do it because it could be helping. And also, I agree with if we meet with Governor Cuomo somehow, which I think we will, we can't be just extremely forceful and be like, you're wrong, you need to change this, just do it already. We have to compromise to get our point across.
Going back to Cody's thing about that town of Pennsylvania, if we were to get in contact with the like the mayor or something of that town and just remind them again how like this is the people in the town are suffering because of this, and like that it's gonna ruin the town for the next generation and the next generation. Like if they want to keep having a nice town just like full of people, they should stop this.
I think that we need to remember that the energy companies are investing so much money into advertisements right now, really pushing in the state that it is a clean, healthy alternative. And we really all need to stand up and constantly put it out there that that's not really the case, whether it be with posters and flyers or media or just symposiums and gatherings. We just need to really continue reminding everyone or spreading the truth, which really needs to always be out there.
I wanted to say this is so exciting. The idea of how to get out to schools and other youth in the state it's the question that New York Youth Against Fracking has been asking since the very beginning, and it's really hard. But you guys have already thrown out ideas that we had not thought about. And I'm remembering the other Artists Against Fracking 30-second video that you guys did that was fabulous, and it was a little youth 30-second bit about educating and speaking directly to Governor Cuomo.
I think that we know our point, and a better way to maybe get our point across is to listen to someone who is for fracking, because we know what we're about, but we should find out what they're really about. Have we listened to someone speak to us tell us their point, because I'm sure they have a point. We don't have to agree with them, but we should listen to them. And we should talk to them about their point, and they could tell us about ours. And I think that would be a good idea.
Going back to the school thing, and I think it's really important that people who, especially who don't know about fracking, need to travel, because it's an experience where you meet new people and you need to make connections. Like the way you get into Dryden to start a program and get a club against fracking is to make connections with teachers. You need to do that. That's something that's important. And you need to make connections with other states, because the reason that we're not banning fracking like right this very instant is because most people do not know what's happening in other states, and people need to travel and see it with their own eyes, because it's the irrefutable evidence. And you need to go and travel, and you need to make connections, and more publicity. That's
also youth making a video like what Josh did with Gasland. Youth making a video that can reach the youth in the state. That's like traveling too. I mean, not everyone can travel, but they can see where you have traveled and what you've seen and what you're documenting and what you've been educated in about this issue. You can bring to them through the media. Media is how you reach people too as well.
I was also thinking that in addition to traveling, in addition to us traveling places like to Pennsylvania, maybe we could even bring some people from the areas of Pennsylvania where there's a lot of fracking, even maybe youth, if we can find some youth who are willing to talk about their experiences, bring them to our school or bring them to our community.
And I think when reaching out to other youth groups around the state, potentially the foot to lead with would be to impress upon them kind of how big of a crossroads we're at in history, and the two directions that we could go in. In Gasland too, the two images. One image that really impressed me was when you see the map of the Marcellus Shale and all the shale formations in the United States, and then you see the world and you see all the shale formations in the world, and the fact that in New York we're on the front lines of trying to keep it out of our state, and then that could potentially have a ripple effect where it inspires people around the world to keep it out of their respective areas, and then just the fact that every generation has its huge challenges to rise to, and I think that more and more youth these days are realizing that we're in great danger of being not looked at as one of the greatest generations in history. So I think that some people respond to on a more local level and a more personal level of like your water is threatened. So and that's the motivation to act. But then, I think other people respond more to this greater perspective, of exactly how that it goes way beyond that. And I think that media trivializes everything so much that a lot of young people would respond to that if that is explained to them in that way.
Last year, Emma and I were on an episode of Nick News where we were two of a bunch of youth from across the country who talked about their experiences with fracking, and there were pro-fracking kids and anti-fracking kids. And I remember one girl talking about how she had been part of a lot of protests to ban fracking in the place where she lived, and so I was just thinking that it would be important to get in touch with people like that and hear about their success stories to take inspiration from it.
Reaching out to the community, in Ithaca, it isn't just youth that don't know about the fracking, it's adults too. So going to places such as the Science Center where they welcome different groups and educating people. Last time I was there, I saw they had a small fracking display. It wasn't very big. We could try and build on that and try and have we could try and come in and educate people, have like some little workshops to show them like what's going on and how we can prevent stop it. Because it's not just kids that don't know about it. There are uneducated about it adults as well.
I saw the small fracking essay thing at the Science Center, and it's mostly pro-fracking. Actually, it's all pro-fracking. No, it doesn't. It has like that much anti-fracking, like a tiny little page of anti-fracking stuff. And it states about how much money it makes, and it like and it's pretty like it seems one-sided. And I think that if we could, and I agree with Franny that we could educate people more on that.
If we did go to Pennsylvania to meet the people there, us as kids, we haven't been there. We haven't actually seen what's going on other than in videos and pictures. If we actually saw that with our own eyes, actually being there, seeing what it's actually like, it might spark a little flame in us. So we got a new idea of what's actually going to happen if it happens, which we don't want to happen. So we need to stop it. So.
Back about renewable energy, it is true that from what in my opinion, we really do have the know-how that if we stand up for it, we definitely can bring about renewable energy. Like again, I guess I'm kind of repeating myself, but again, I think it's the politics a lot that stands in the way. Like this is a political struggle, and that's right. Like the corporations, they have a lot of money, so it's a challenge. And also a success that I want to highlight, not just, well, I guess across the board, is just how this fight against fossil fuel industry in the last few years in the United States has really drawn together people of like all different socioeconomic, cultural backgrounds who sometimes in the past may not have always been able to work together, but that's one great success of this movement is that, you know, like we got leftists, we got conservatives all fighting for a common goal, which is protection of the environment. So that's one positive thing just to look at that's going well.
First of all, I just want to say, incredibly inspiring for me to be able to just sort of sit in and like be a fly on the wall and hear the things you had to say. And it's really exciting. And I think everything I heard were terrific comments. You know, I mean, we're talking about, you know, the transformational issue for New York State, you know, the last decade or more. And everyone is involved in one way or the other, from people who are living upstate to people who are in New York City because of all the ramifications, right? When we're talking about water contamination, we're talking about air pollution, we're talking about destruction of land, industrialization of neighborhoods, the continuing use of fossil fuels. Here in this city, everybody knows what happened with Hurricane Sandy. Upstate, everybody knows what happened with Hurricane Irene. These are superstorms that are being supercharged by climate change. And what we're talking about when we're talking about fracking, and I heard somebody say, I don't remember who, is this precipice that we're at, where we can continue to go down this road that we know we can't go down, of developing fossil fuels. Or we can move in another direction, which is towards renewable energy. And from every perspective, from the water, the air, the health of your community, climate change, or as we cover a lot in Gasland too, the health of our democracy, right? Because these companies would much rather not listen to any of you and just go directly to Washington, D.C. and Albany and spend more than $1 billion trying to influence the legislation and our representatives and take democracy away from you. So what I'm seeing, and we've seen this all across the country. Lee and I have traveled to 50 cities to do Gasland 2, and I did about 250 with the first movie. Everywhere I've gone, and that's across the United States, across Europe, Australia, Africa, you know, everywhere people are having discussions like this, and it's like watching a kind of new democracy being born out of this crisis. And it's an amazing, amazing reaction. And you're absolutely right. People are paying attention to what happens in New York. People are really getting inspired. You know, when New York put that first moratorium bill out, people in Australia were cheering, you know. Then France banned fracking, you know. And then you have you know, in Colorado, which is an oil and gas producing state, they voted to ban fracking in 4 different cities just this last year. So this is really moving. And you're right, it's connecting with people who are fighting mountaintop removal for coal, who are fighting the tar sands, who are fighting issues of basics in democracy also. So there's so many people involved in this. And I've just had this amazing good fortune to be able to tour with this film and see all these people and meet all these people. So I want to connect you with, we already had some ideas about other youth groups that are in Colorado and California that we want to connect you with. And certainly when you're talking about making videos, we do like a video of the week and we send it out to our whole email list and we put it up on our Facebook page, which has 110,000 people on there. So if you're making them and you want to send them to us, we're happy to feature those videos of the week because that's something that gets more people involved and interested. But what I wanted to tell you is because we did all this, like, we put the films on HBO and they went into 40 million homes and that had a huge impact. But the bigger, I feel like, tangible effect was when we did these tours. And the tours allowed us to meet with communities and they could meet with each other and people started to talk. And that's where things like this happen, when you get in a room together. So I'm really excited that you brought this huge group to meet with Yoko. That's kind of fantastic.
You only wanted to meet 2 of us.
Yeah. Well, no, it's great. I mean, I think she'll love it. You know, I mean, she's an amazing person who has done an enormous amount when she didn't need to be involved in this. She really stuck her neck out, and she and Sean, you know, protecting John Lennon's legacy, protecting their farm upstate, but really doing an enormous amount of organizing. They have, you know, gotten Lady Gaga against fracking. They got Jimmy Fallon against fracking. You know, they have some of the greatest artists that exist on the planet against fracking. You know, fracking's just not cool after they put that all together. You know, the Pope is against fracking. You know, Gandhi's grandson is against fracking. You know, the list just goes on and on and on. And it's because we're at this precipice. This fracking is not just about what's happening in our backyard. It's a worldwide thing to perpetuate a next generation, a next regime, 50 years of fossil fuels. And if you know anything about what is happening with the climate, and that's what my next film is about, it's a perilous situation for all of us. When we're talking about having stable coastlines, when we're having stable ecosystems that we live in that support us as people. This is the most important issue. When we're talking about fracking, we're talking about this whole next generation of that versus where we could go, and that's what I want to talk about. I started this thing with Mark Ruffalo, the Incredible Hulk, the green superhero, green in 2 senses, right? And a renewable energy banker named Marco Krapels, and Mark Jacobson, who is the Stanford University renewable energy planner who's in Gasland Part 2, called the Solutions Project. And you can go to the website. It's just the beginning of the website. It's thesolutionsproject.org. And that maps out how every state in the United States can go to renewable energy. And it was born out of this fracking crisis in New York. We said, well, we don't have this happening in New York, so why don't we create an alternative plan? And that plan is solar, it's offshore wind, it's making use of the hydroelectric resources that are already in New York State. So it's wind, water, and sun. These are carbon neutral or close to it. They don't, by and large, destroy your water table. They don't contribute to climate change. And they're more democratic kinds of energy, right? Because they're more distributed. When you have solar panels on all the rooftops in your houses or in your school or in the parking lot of the mall, right? There's an amazing statistic that you probably don't know. If we put solar on top of all the parking lots in the United States, it would more than provide for all of our electricity generation in the United States. So let's not talk about destroying any more beautiful places. Let's take those ugly places and make them work for us. You know, my motto is our ugliness can save us. You know, those parking lots are ugly. If you put solar on top of them, all of a sudden now you can park in the shade. right? You want to park in the shade, probably. You have a possible charging station for your future electric car, right? Right there. It's all possible. What the fossil fuel industry doesn't want us to appreciate and understand is that actually you can get to 100% renewable energy for all purposes, transportation, everything, based on the current technology that exists right now, based on what's in our grasp right now. So solar, wind. So when we fight fracking, we also have to build the positive side. I've been doing the fighting fracking for 6 years, and it's hard. It wears you down. It's difficult. You're fighting some of the most powerful interests in the whole world. But when you go ahead and build something on the positive side, it can be regenerative. You know, it's literally positive energy. So what we're doing is we're creating a tour where we bring the ability for people to sign up and create solar. Was our first round solar in upstate New York. We're looking at offshore wind off of Long Island. I don't love onshore wind because it can really hamper people's communities. But we're talking about the easy stuff, the low-hanging fruit, putting solar on your rooftops, figuring out how to do that without putting any money down. There are all these companies that will lease you the solar panels just if you agree to buy the power from it, right? So you actually save money, put the solar on your roof, and you're building the solution. So we have made, Lee and I for the last several months, and me and Mark and these guys for the last 3 years have been making contact with these companies to bring that directly to our audience and say, let's build, you know. And that's also going to generate jobs, it's going to generate income, it's going to generate possible source of funding for nonprofits, because there's nonprofit affiliate programs where when you install the solar, they kick money back to you. So we're trying to work all that out and then bring it in this pilot program over the summer. We were going to go to Ithaca, New York City, Callicoon, Cooperstown, a bunch of places on Long Island, and probably Pittsburgh, just because we love Pittsburgh. It's a great town. So that's happening over the course of this summer, and we want to work with you all, everybody, on that. It's the possibility it could be actually a summer job for some people. It's the possibility that it could be a great adjunct to your organizing. Because let's face it, if we want to ban fracking, we have no argument unless we replace the fuel. Because basically what it means is you turn the lights off on in this room and you turn the lights off in the hospital in the middle of the operation, you know, because that's what is running the world right now. So if we want to have moral standing in our argument to ban fracking, you kind of have to do this. And you can't, unfortunately, no one else is coming to do this. No one in the government is making this work for us right now. There is no sort of fairy godmother in this situation. There's no, well, there is Elon Musk, who is kind of Iron Man. But if you don't know who he is, look him up. But it's up to us, really. And what's exciting about it is actually we can do it and have a huge impact, you know. So we're coming with this tour, which is going to be pieces of film, some music involved, and theater, actually. And we're going to make this interactive program with each town that we're going to and see how it works. So we've chosen those first 5 places because we felt like we really had a great response in those places. And they're in New York. We want to make a stand in New York so that we can inspire other states, other nations, and so on. So we're going to get with you about how we can figure that out. We're looking for organizers in a structure where you can actually create a neighborhood team, focus on a piece of this issue, and then go out and work on it like you would work on any campaign. We're going to help a little bit differently from Gasland, where we just showed the movie and then the groups that were in the area did all the work. We're going to try to supply some of this organizing structure by having a field organizer in each one of these cities. That's the plan, and I'm really excited. I hope that it's something that you find inspiring and cool. So go to the website. It's not really a lot of information there yet, but there's some. And we're going to be continuing to roll this program out in New York this summer and then across the nation, if it works. So we have to make it work. So I ask you to participate in that when we find ways to bring you that
I
information.
wonder if you could maybe help the youth set up a mirroring program of youths doing exactly what you're doing to reach adults. I mean, because what we were saying earlier is that it's very effective for youths to reach youths.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that we could work on. towards.
Well, if you go to the Gasland screenings, you probably realize that a lot of our audience is older. And that's a little bit disappointing sometimes to me. That, you know, not that I don't like people who are older. Actually, generally speaking, that's a good crowd to work with because people have houses, people have land, they vote, they're respected in the community. But we want more youth involved in this, without a doubt. You know, we want people in high schools, we want people in colleges, we want that energy, you know, because it's really your planet, you know, that you're going to receive, and you want to receive it in good shape. So we're happy to help coordinate. I'm so, you know, excited to meet you guys today, and that's what this is all about for us. When we meet people, we get to actually go, oh, well, we have to work on that, you know, we have to make that connection. And Lee is already jotting down tons of notes and ideas about what we can do to connect it. So, okay.
Hand up that mic.
Oh, the mic.
I'm just wondering when you guys are coming to Ithaca.
Yeah. Well, we're planning these things for this summer. There's a lot of moving parts, right? There's theaters, there's companies, there's organizing structure. So we don't actually have any dates at all yet. But we're looking at the target months, June, July, August. If we have to start in September, we'll do that. But that's the plan. The faster we can get this going, the faster we'll show up. So we're looking for a theater, we're looking for the organizers, we're looking for the people who will put that
You've
together.
got a lot of people here who are connected to all those kinds of things.
Great.
Next question.
Well, I have two short ones. The first one is, what's your new movie going to be called? And when is it going to come out? And
Wow, I don't have answers to any of these questions. The new movie will not be called Gasland 3. Yeah, you're like, 2 movies on fracking is a no. It's going to be called something really awesome. But I don't have a title yet. We didn't have the title for Gasland until like 3 weeks before it actually was done. We were calling it something else. And it came in the flash. But I don't know yet. When is it coming out? Well, we're going to work on it over the course of this year. A lot of why we're doing this tour right now without a movie is because we don't want to wait for another movie. Which, you know, movies take a while to make. So I think it's probably in the next year. Power in New York City costs 25 cents a kilowatt hour. To generate it in upstate costs 7 cents, 8 cents per kilowatt hour for solar. Right now it's illegal for farmers upstate to sell to New York City because you can't cross the power territory. That's a 1-sentence change in the law that Cuomo could do by himself. And you're talking about a bonanza for upstate farmers to be able to generate the electricity that comes to New York. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And then you've created this electron bridge from upstate to downstate. You've done something sustainable that's going to repair the economy. And then other things can travel across that electron bridge, like produce, farm-to-table stuff, wines, beers, so forth. So this is like the idea, but we have to get on that piece of it.
Okay, so Kai had last question. Shoot.
I don't know if I misunderstood what you were saying, but you said something about coming to Ithaca and getting people to volunteer or have summer jobs, and I was just wondering more about that so we could know a little bit more
Okay,
information.
so just in 1 minute if I can, but it's going to be more complicated. But basically what we're trying to do is set up neighborhood teams to take on the idea of we can build renewable energy. So when you build renewable energy, the thing about anti-fracking is it's not just a moral issue, right? It's not something where you just change people's mind and then you change the law and things change. This is about money and economics. To stop fracking, you actually have to change the entire world economic system, which is based on oil. Now, there's a hard thing about that, and then there's a good thing about it. The good thing about it is, when you do it, you actually create wealth and energy, right? So if you're the people who are campaigning for that, some of that money should go to you. And those companies know that. So their job's making the solar happen, going to your neighbors, telling them about how to sign up for those companies. That actually can be a summer job. In the same way that campaigning for CCE or NIPER, when a lot of high school students that were friends of mine in high school would knock on doors and raise money for those organizations, and they would get a 30% commission on everything that they raised, and the rest of it went to the nonprofit. A lot of friends of mine did that in high school as their summer job. You could do it for Greenpeace. You know, this is a similar type of a situation where you're going out and creating the solar, and you can have work for 5 different companies. You know, you can decide. There's an element of choice in here. We're not endorsing any one company. We're just making the information available, so people can do that through this program that we're trying to set up, because we want to track what works and what's successful. So some of these companies have an app that you can just put on your phone, and then you're a sales rep for a solar company, and you go and do that. You know, that's something we want to give you, because so much of this is just connecting the dots, right? In this fracking movement, giving the information to people, making it work in your mind, and then you make the decisions. But we want to at least make that part of the information available. So we know how smart this movement is. We know how quickly you absorb information and statistics. We need to absorb this part of it too, and that's where I feel really compelled and excited about it. So, great question.
Hey, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
I'll poison all your water, contaminate your land. I'll make you sign a contract you don't really understand. I'll dig the well straight down hell and turn your water black. And when I'm done, I'll cut and run, 'cause you've been fracked. You say your family's owned this land since 1822. But now you need the money and there's nothing else to do. How lucky that you've got a choice, your great-grandfather's land. So sign the will and soon you'll know that you've been fracked. You say you've been feeling bad since I began to drill. You say you've had the wall all day and all your kids are ill. Your land's not worth a penny, you wish you had it cracked. Well, ain't that nice, left open twice, 'cause you've been fracked. I'll poison all your water, contaminate your land. I'll make you sign a contract you don't really understand. I'll dig a well straight down hell and turn your water black. And when I'm done, I'll cut and run, 'cause you've been fracked.
A roasted salmon, nice filet of salmon, and this comes with roasted potatoes and sauteed spinach. And the last choice is pasta. Penne as well, excellent. Penne pomodoro. What about you? Spaghetti pomodoro. Penne pomodoro.
Next year than it was this year when you tried it and didn't like it. College. We got it. We got it. College option. Oh, okay. I'm going to be taking college.
I think it's very good that, you know, we were eating together. Things like, you know, family eating together brings a lot of emotion out, and it's supposed to be doing something more than what you think, you know, eating together is very important. So that's why I wanted to do this. And here we are. I'm very, very impressed that you guys are already thinking about, you know, anti-fracking and things like that. Because anti-fracking is so important for us, our bodies. And it's not just anti-fracking. There's so many things going on that's bad for our body. So at least we should do anti-fracking. It's very important. You know, we can focus on that, you know. And you guys can start thinking about how to do it creatively. And I'm getting messages from people saying, young people, so what can we do? We're not famous, we're not rich, what can we do? And I'm saying, well, you're creative. So just your creativity and do something that I never thought of, or the grown-ups never thought of doing it. Because it's so important that you are leading us. You have to lead us. Because you know the thing is, what anti-fracking does is to make sure that this planet is, at least again, a safe for us to live. And so let's start with anti-fracking. And there are other things that we have to do too, but it's a very important thing to concentrate our minds on. And focusing on something does make things happen. So please understand, focus on anti-fracking and let's do it together. Thank you. I love you.
Okay, so one more, Mom, and then we're going to do the third table, then we're going to do the groups, okay? And I think when we do the groups, we should do it on this wall because there's the most light, okay? I think that'll be the most.
We still are doing the stuff in the front, right?
Yes.
So then this will be light.
I think we should first do the third table, then we're going to do pictures with groups, and I think when we do it, we should probably do it against that wall because there's a lot of light there. All right, so now let's do this table.
We'll start, and then the next group will get together.
Who's going to take the pictures, Brian?
Yeah, just like go set up with the front.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God.
Cute.
So many cameras.
That looks good. I'm going to get my camera too, right? Very cute.
I think that we have to change another. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll switch to another group. Okay, the next group. Wait, let's let this group sit before the next group.
Great.
Okay.
All right, everyone look straight ahead. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Yoko.
Great.
Wait, what?
They are. Let's just get in and we'll do this really quickly.
It was going to be, but it's not.
Is this the right group?
Yep, now that, and then we'll go to the.
Please remember that we're all together in this, okay? And I'm with you, you're with me, we're all together in this, and that's why we're a family. Thank you. Thank you.
We've heard that it's my new friend Julian's birthday today. You want to sing happy birthday with me? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julian. Happy birthday to you.
No way.
You may take one.
You gotta show Salvino. Show the back of the case. There you go. Hey, right on, man.
Right between Acadia National Park and Omen Gang and MSNBC.
There you go. All right, hang on. No.
I am a fracking company, I own the USA. I want your land, so lend a hand and sign with me today. I'll give you lots of money if only you will act, and you won't know until I go that you've been fracked. I'll poison all your water, contaminate your land. I'll make you sign a contract you don't really understand. I'll dig a well straight down to hell and turn your water black. And when I'm done, I'll cut and run, 'cause you've been fracked. My drills go down a mile and they crack the earth in two. That sometimes causes earthquakes, but there's nothing I can do. A quake's an act of nature, that's just a simple fact. I can't be sued, so you are screwed if you've been fracked.